Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone. Thank you so much, Asif, and it's a great honor to be here, and it's a great pleasure to be here. My name is Ashish, and I represent Vipoya Consulting Organization, which is a global consulting company. We started from India, and we have been doing work in GCC for the last 12 years. We have done a good amount of work in Saudi Arabia, as well as UAE, Qatar, Bahrain. So the topic I am going to talk today about rewriting HR. And the rewriting human resources as a topic, something which started almost around 2010 when United Arab Emirates UAE decided about Expo 2020 and they wanted to declare the vision for HR. And we followed the same for Saudi Arabia for their vision 2030. And what is the need for human resources to look at the change. And similarly, we have put an attempt together here to look at it that OMAN vision 2040. What is it, something we need to rewrite about human resources, and how do we look at human resources rewriting part of it. So we started at IIM, which is in India, which is considered to be a Harvard of India, regarded in that league. And it started from there around 20 years back, and I'm in the industry for 29 years. I spent around 10-12 years in corporate world, where I spent first with the United States, especially in California, where I was a HR manager for a global tech company, and I spent some time, and then I was a global capability role for another French organization in Paris and Belgium. So that's where I worked, and then last 15-17 years as a consulting side of it. So this is something about our organization, and we started from 2004, so 21 years of as a consulting experience, and out of that almost presence in terms of focus, especially for the GCC market for around 12 years. These are some of our achievements, what we have done so far and what we have achieved so far in terms of 20 years of existence, 160 plus client. And our normal engagement has been more than 4 years with each client, and collectively we bring 250 years plus experience and 100 plus CXOs we will coach together, and we work closely in terms of helping the organizations to do a transformation as well as to bring the scale for them. So this is something about us as an introduction about Vipoya. Next slide, please. So the objective is, our topic here is rewriting HR. And if I look at it, why should we look at human resources and why should we look at rewriting about it? So the current human resources practices as well as the model, as I look at it, was written around 25-30 years back. And to a great extent, we are looking at Professor Patel or some of those models, and we have been following those models. But there is an opportunity and there is a need for us to look at it. And especially as we discussed some time back at Bhartia also about AI as well as digitization post-COVID and a lot of things. And you can look at it also within 2040 as a one country, what we have put together. So from there, if I look at it, what we are looking for is a very knowledge-based economy and powered by a skilled national talent as well as agile leadership. So with this as a prime objective, if you look at it, there is absolutely need in terms of a new HR model to evolve. And how do we look at it this from that? And what this model or what this actually create for us is some of this kind of a different kind of challenges for us as a Vision 2040. Because when we work on the similar kind of model, even for Saudi Arabia for Vision 2030, we started around 2012 to 15, 16 on this. And we looked at the same thing in terms of there was absolutely a traditional HR model which was working, and there was a need for a new HR model to come in. So that's what we built. So practically this model kind of addresses some of the challenges which are very, very important challenges for any organization, and of course OMAN as a country or any country for that matter, is about leadership pipeline. Is how do we create leadership pipeline? How do we look at local culture? Because we are strong believer that every country has its own culture, and if that culture is being absolutely integrated with the model rather than just we take a model from Western world and just look at it, that model, how does it apply to our country? I think that's a very, I believe in exported or kind of importing style of it. Rather than that, how do we embed our local culture with changing workforce productivity standards? Because the workforce productivity standards with digital as well as AI are absolutely making a lot of changes. And our traditional model, the way we are looking at productivity, we have to see that how do we look at it both together as our culture at the same time in terms of digitalization for AI or overall global productivity or processes on that. And of course, as I mentioned about how our workforce together or our entire HR systems together, last 2 days I've been here and I'm discussing with different organizations, chief executives as well as business heads, and we have been discussing about how do we get the digital capability. And digital capability, and especially I have come with a word or a terminology called digital mindset. Digital mindset is a very different way to look at things. In a normal mindset, we look at everything in a way, I call it as a sequencing or in a absolutely sequencing thought process or assembling line thought process. But a digital mindset is look at everything in parallel. So in a digital mindset, you look at everything in parallel, you never look at it in sequence, you never look at it in terms of one after the other second. So that's a very big change which we are looking at it, and for this, I'm presenting a model which we are developing with the Vision 2040 together for us as an OMAN. So if I look at it, it's a 3C model or a 3C framework. How do we look at our capabilities? How do we look at our culture? And how do we look at it in terms of the connected systems? So especially if I look at it, the capability, the traditional HR model majorly focuses on the training programs only. And it keeps talking that we are in these programs, we are doing this kind of trainings. So capability is absolutely restricted to a great extent towards the training programs alone. Whereas rewriting HR, our new model talks about how do we get the capability architecture with the Vision 2040 as a country focus. How do we look at the capabilities what we all need and how do we make this capability? So we absolutely look at it not just like a classical soft skill program or leadership program or a change management program, everything in isolation. But we look at it in terms of a capability architecture with the Vision 2040 and then we look at it entire capability to build. Similarly for a culture, culture is not just what you feel alone. Of course, culture is what you feel and experience in day-to-day life. That is one part of culture. But also the culture is in terms of how you look at your daily operating productivity system. What is it producing for us? Even as a home, let's say we eat together as a lunch or we eat together as a dinner. What is the productivity? Is something we eat together? Is it helping us our family decisions making much faster? So how do we convert a culture into operating productivity system? That is very important part. And the connectedness, which is normally a communication method or a memo method or whatever kind of charter of communication we follow in our country or our organization. But ultimately, how do we look at it in terms of real-time technology enabled workforce, especially our technology enabled workforce commitment or connectedness makes a big difference. So entire as a Vision 2040, what we are looking at reclaiming the entire HR from a traditional, where it's not just a kind of a I would say support function, but very important HR we are looking at it from a perspective to see that it is a business growth enabler, and of course it is also driving towards Vision 2040 for us to look at it and how can we make it our contribution at the same time, how do we also look at it, making it realistic together on this. So that's the model and that's the framework we have prepared, and we have looked at it, the entire framework with a lot of thought processes after almost for 2 to 3 months of studying of Vision 2040, what does it mean, and doing a lot of discussions and debate on stuff also, speaking some chief executives here, speaking some CEOs here, and we try to understand their perspective also that what does it mean, why does it, how does it matter to us. So from that perspective, we have come up with this model on this, and of course, I have just started doing it in the last 2 months. I don't have a case study directly talking about just this model success in Oman, but I do have success story from Saudi Arabia as well as from UAE, which I would like to present for that model which we have done it. So my next slide please. So I'll talk about one of the case study on that. But so what are the very important 4 key messages I wish to leave together is invest in capability as a business strategy and not just an HR activity. And that's why I'm not using the word training programs or just programs. I'm talking a lot more on capability building as a business strategy part of it. And one of the case studies I have in retail business of capability building, where we look at the entire shop floor or like store management team, how do we create a digital mindset around it. At the same time, we have case studies for facility management companies. So the second very important message I wish to convey is culture must be designed and embedded, not assumed. How do we look at the culture as the biggest differentiator and how do we see that this is something what we are going to do. Right now we are doing one project for a General Electric, which is a GE from USA, and we are trying to implement in GCC, which is absolutely, we are looking at GCC culture and American culture together and how do we embed to together so that it becomes a global hit local, or we call it local culture, right? That is the global culture where it's global with a local touch around on this. So how do we build on this? The third, which is very important part, is connectedness isn't its communication, but it's an inclusion in action. How do we make this absolute day-to-day actions, but with a kind of connectedness which digital world can make a very different way. Even when you are managing a remote sites or a different location team, but you can bring a connectedness. And absolutely people development must be digitized to drive productivity. I think one of the very important message for Vision 2040 was is the due was we may have to be in terms of more and more digital understanding and digital know-how or a digital kind of ability of day out workforce as well as work life. So these are the four key passages in terms of model is concerned we should talk about. So practically this is the one case study which I picked up from especially UAE and Bahrain. So it is not digital because I don't have right now one case study, so I'm just talking from another GCC country case study. Where the client had it's a facility management company, and I have of course cases for different industries, but I just chose facility management company right now here. This company is almost 20-25 years old and doing very well, but stuck somewhere that not able to grow with the continuous competition coming from multinationals company. So the biggest challenge has been in the last 3 years that growth is almost stagnant and they are not able to grow any further. Second is the entire leadership and skill gap across the cluster level or unit level, and so there is a facility management, there is a lot of technicalities about the hard services that we do, or with catering, or with integrated facility management. So absolutely skill gap across the level because people have been there and they have just been doing what is being done 20 years back or 15 years back, but not realizing that what is it directly contributing in terms of absence of the growth or absence of the skill set which clients have already moved on. Our clients have grown next expectation, but our team delivery is not going on equally on the next level of expectations. And absolutely operational inefficiency due to inconsistent road readiness and execution gaps. And absolutely team is not aligned to the vision what is required in organization. Because continuously facing that they are not able to be large scale contract or a kind of a contract when they have competition with another kind of contract. So what we did is we created a business capability framework that blended a capability building intervention together with this capability framework and absolutely cascaded strategy development plan across each site and locations on that. Almost for 2.5 years we worked with the client together on this, and that's the time that we spent. And some of the things what we did is kind of look at the capability, but we looked at the strategic capability that we were able to, let's say, look at it, just a soft service and facility management, your margins are going to come in. And if you are only capable to just serve the soft services, your margins are also going to be restricted in terms of your growth part is concerned. So how to bring that part of it, also in terms of every, let's say, the facility or catering services also needs a lot of digital way of monitoring. And if clients are expecting that, can I see your live screen, where I can have a dashboard to actually observe and check everything. And I want to see the dashboard and the screen to just look at it. I don't want you to just email it to me. So I want real-time data. So now, preparation of real-time data is one, but also your team knows how to present it. And how to even answer the questions if the real-time questions coming in. Otherwise, it was my immediate manager was answering it. Now I have to answer this question. So how do I respond to it? So I think that's where we did some of this, and this organization we have absolutely done a kind of a fair amount of progress where they are to not just the revenue, but even their margins are improving it, and their bottom line is also getting better. Of course, the kind of it took us 2.5 years because we were very clear that this is not like a sprint where you just run in 6 months and everything can be done. You need the new framework, takes time for people to adapt, for people to absorb it, and people to start practicing it, and also for people to believe in it. So it takes a lot of time on this. So that's where we kind of spent 2.5 years. So similarly, we have a case study for retail industry, to apparels, the retail industry, non-apparel side of it. We have case studies for the pure play in terms of a logistics company. We have case studies for construction of real estate companies. We have very strong case studies on fintech, where a bank wanted to become a fintech as a financial technology organizations, where how to leverage digital frameworks and digital capability for a fintech is essential. That's what we have done. So happy to share this case study. And last slide. Something as a new rewriting the HR, I would say that it's no more just human resources, but it's very, very important that how we bring the relevance into this. So traditional HR has been focusing just more on that we are a support function and we are just a human resources function. But I think it's how we bring that relevance through a capability. And I think we can look at Vision 2040 as very clearly messages that we want to take a capability and absolutely leverage entire workforce of the country becoming a very differently capable organization. And the country which become absolutely in that kind of technology driven and just not the support driven functions of that. With this, I'm very happy to connect with business heads as well as CHROs, and very happy to have some questions.